Good day and welcome to another episode of Real Estate Matters with Coach Soto. In response to questions from viewers, today we will be discussing a very important topic that many people don't know about and is rapidly growing throughout El Dorado County. Today's topic has to do with mortgage and title fraud. Title fraud is a scam that involves people stealing the title or deed of your property, then borrowing against it or selling it behind your back. This may seem far-fetched to you, but believe me, this type of fraud is growing rapidly. Victims can face substantial financial losses, damage to their credit scores, and even the risk of foreclosure if fraudulent loans are taken out. We will be discussing the risks behind title fraud and how to protect yourself from it with today's special guest, El Dorado County Recorder, Janelle Horne. Janelle, welcome to Real Estate Matters. You and I have known each other for quite some time, and it's a pleasure to have you on this show. I know that you've been going around to focus groups and places around El Dorado County talking about this important topic. And I just have a question for you to start this. How can someone steal your property?
Okay, so that is a big question, and there are many different types of fraud, which you kind of just mentioned there. Between you can either get a mortgage on a property, or they can actually basically sell your property from out underneath you. But how it actually happens is when somebody comes into the office and records an official record within the Recorder-Clerk's office, and that would be either a deed that gets recorded, which transfers property, or a deed of trust, which basically places a mortgage on the property. So, and there's many different ways on how that can happen.
Okay, you make that seem like it's easy. Is it easy to do that?
Criminals are getting better and better at what they do, so within the state of California, we are not police officers or investigators. And when we are presented a document, whether it's legally sufficient or not, we have to record it. So, but we have a great relationship with our district attorney's office, and they have a real estate fraud division that we connect with. And if we ever have any suspicions or we think that it's fraudulent, we will send those documents over to them right away. They will investigate, they will prosecute, and hopefully they get behind bars.
Okay. Who's most at risk of getting their property stolen? Who's most at risk of that?
So properties that are at most risk are those that don't have any encumbrances or liens on them. So for example,
They're owned outright.
Would be vacant land. Vacant land is what we are seeing right now, very active. As a realtor, you probably have gotten those phone calls of saying, hey, I would like to list this property for sale. And most of the time they're weeded out by the realtors because they ask all of those great questions. But what's happening is that they're getting better and better. So they've been able to create fake IDs. They are able to use AI, and with all of that, that basically is they're able to have the document notarized, which then meets those notarized requirements to record that document. And so, but if you have a mortgage, so for example, my house, if I say my house or your house is worth $1 million, but you have a $750,000 mortgage on your property, you're going to be at super low risk, because when it goes into escrow, when you're transferring property, you want what's called a clear title. And basically when you have a lien, you don't have a clear title. And because those things need to be paid off or removed before they can issue a new title. So that's why those criminals are looking at properties that don't have any encumbrances on them, which mostly is vacant land. So very rarely we have, people who have usually in the older community that have paid off their home and don't owe anything on it, own it free and clear. Those would be also at risk. But the thing is then if you want to take over that property, it's hard to get those people out. So land is really where it's at. And why California?
Yeah.
Why El Dorado County?
Yeah.
Because our property values are high.
What can they do with it after they get, the title of your property? What can they do with that?
So what they're doing is they can either resell it, or if they want to get a mortgage on it, they can do that and cash out and take that money. But basically that money is being wired to an offshore account, which in talking with other district attorneys in the state, they've basically centralized it to a group in Nigeria that's doing all of these.
Nigeria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once it's been transferred out, it's very hard to get back.
I'm so glad that we're having this discussion because it is a topic that I get asked about as an agent, right? Yeah. And you hear the commercials, yes. You hear the radio ads about home title lock and all these other companies out there that are doing it. I mean, do those companies work to keep you safe?
So this is how I would explain it. They are a reactive service.
Mm-hmm.
So you can sign up for the service to be notified when a document gets recorded in our office. That does not keep that document from being recorded. There's nobody can keep that document from being recorded. So you subscribe, they let you know when a document has been recorded in our office.
Mm-hmm.
They do not have the power to keep a document from being recorded. So that's why they call them reactive. So they're just going to notify you after the fact, after it's already happened. And then for you to resolve and get that property back into your name, you're going to have to go through the court service.
I never knew that.
And all of that.
I never knew that. I always thought they helped you beforehand, but now you're telling me they're doing it after the fact.
After the fact. And so, but, if you want that notification, then you can pay for it,
Yeah.
but you don't have to because all of that information is public record and you can get it on our website 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for free. So, yeah.
That is great. So what website would I go to get that? Would I just go to the county recorder's office of El Dorado County? And
So edcgov.us, Recorder-Clerk. And
Recorder-Clerk.
It'll bring up our website and you'll click on official records and you'll just do a record search by your last name and first name and it'll bring up every document that's ever been recorded in your name. And then what you're looking for is deeds. So any deed that's been recorded.
Is there anything I could do in advance of that? Here I own land outright, right? And I know that I'm going to be a target or I can be a target. Is there anything I could do in advance to kind of protect us? Does a trust help?
So that's a good question. A lot of people think that a trust might help, but it doesn't. Because the thing is when you set up your trust, you have to have trustees of your trust. And those are the names that we index on the property. So basically, they can take those names and create fake IDs and be able to make fake documents. You're better off, I would say, with an LLC because that's not traceable. In that regard, it's a little bit harder. But I want to let you know that there is a proactive service. So, which is basically you want to cloud your title. And there's a couple companies out here that do it. We're actually working on a contract on other things with one of them. And basically what they're doing is they're filing a UCC on your property, which clouds your title. So that if you were to take out a mortgage or you were to go through an escrow company to transfer property, they would call and they need to get that cleared before the property can actually transfer. So once they get that phone call, they'll say, wait a second, we filed this because they don't want to sell their property. We need to do some research on who these owners or who this person actually is.
That's excellent. That is excellent.
Yeah.
Janelle, thank you. I mean, obviously we could go on for hours regarding this topic. I think what's really important for you, the viewer, to realize is that if you do own your property outright, if you it makes you, as Janelle said, more at risk and more susceptible to this type of occurrence, right? So she's giving you some great ideas, great methods to really get in front of this so this doesn't happen to our great, constituents and friends in El Dorado County. So thank you for watching the show. We hope you got a lot out of this. If you have any questions, send me an email. We'll respond right away. But thank you so much, Janelle.
And
you're
email
great.
Me too.
Yeah, or email
I'm your
Janelle.
public servant.
Thank you so much. Janelle and I are saying goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you on the next episode of Real Estate Matters.